Hello folks and welcome back to another Wise Game video. I know it's been a couple of weeks since I shot my last video, but I just got Legions back today actually, and just in time for the big breaking news that 7.3.5 patch finally came out live yesterday, the 16th of January 2018. So we're pretty excited about this. But also keep in mind that this is just a pre-patch. It's not going to have all the implements that the actual expansion is going to have. Battle of Azeroth. I have seen in medias, forums, or whatnot of people, asking questions like, do we get to level up? Do we get to do the new raids? Do we get to do this and that? No, there's only very small additions in the patch 7.3.5 getting us prepared and ready for Battle of Azeroth once that comes out in the near future. So keep that in mind. Don't get your hopes up too high right now. It's just a pre-patch. Now, what we're going to be going over in this video is just some of the key details to look for in 3.5. If you've been away from the game and you want to pick up your feet again, get back into the game, and you know that these certain changes now are actually added to the game at this given time. So let's get started. The first thing I want to go over is actually one of the main places that we're going to be hitting now in 7.3.5 is the area called Silithus. Silithus was the place we used to play at before at lower levels, and it's over in the Kalmador section of the map. So if we go to Azeroth, Kalmador, and we look right down here, we could see Silithus. So Silithus is a new place now that we actually want to go to, and during this video I'm going to be heading out that way, and we'll be covering some of the more important details of what's going on in 7.3.5. Now I'm going to add links in the description panel of my videos as I usually always do, so if you follow those links it should cover all of the smaller details that I'm not going to be covering in this video. For Alliance anyways, the best way to get out sometimes to Silithus in that area is if you come to Stormwind, you come to the portal island here, which is right across the river here, or the water here of the Mr. Pandoria portal. We're going to see the familiar portal called Uldum, if I can find it. Let's see, there it is right there. So if you port out to Uldum, that should be your quickest way of getting out to Silithus, seeing they are neighboring zones. Here we are in Uldum. Now we're going to go over some other details before we actually get going here. The first big main implement of 7.3.5 is what they call the scaling world, which is where a lot of zones in the game now you could actually go up a lot more levels than you could in the past before 7.3.5. So if you really enjoy a certain zone in the game, you could probably spend more time there and get those levels also. So if we open up the map and we go to Azeroth and we go back to Eastern Kingdom here, if you mouse over each one of these zones, it's going to let you know in the brackets now of what levels you could go up to in those zones. So we could see for Eastern Plaguelands, it starts off at level 40 and it ends at level 60. So you could spend 20 levels now just toying around in Eastern Plaguelands, where in the past you would only gain like 3 or 4 levels at the most before the game forced you to actually move on. So as we mouse over a few more, we could see that they usually go up to level 60, and then you would have to go to Outlands to further that progression. So, and so on and so forth. So let's see what the higher zones look like. So here's Outlands, and if we mouse over Nitherstorm, we're going to see that the level here is 67 to 80. Hellfire Peninsula is 58 to 80. So a lot of these are topping off at level 80. So we could see now one of my favorites in the whole game, I mean, is called Nagrand. And so I could spend now, if I was leveling up a new tune, I could go from 64 to 80 now just in Nagrand, which is pretty sweet if you really enjoy that area now. Also want to mention too that all dungeons in these zones and the rewards will now scale as well. Ulduar Timewalking. Ulduar, the old, what was it, the Lich King? Yeah, the Lich King raid, which I had a lot of fun in that raid, and I know a lot of other players did too. They came back with that in 7.3.5. But basically, what it is, from what I understand, is that it's not revamped to 110. It's still the current level that it was at that time, and basically it's a transmog place. If you're really into collecting those transmogs, those good-looking skins or whatnot, Ulduar Timewalking will have the means of doing so now. Now, the reason why is because of a scaling system. So no matter what level you are, like if you are level 110, if you do go back to Ulduar now, it's going to scale you back down to level 80, which is what the level was for Wrath of the Lich King expansion. So if you really enjoy doing Ulduar Timewalking, 7.3.5 brought it back in a fine fashion. Okay, now we're going to go off to Silithus, and I want to show you guys something. Again, this may contain some spoilers. You just can't help it when you're covering content of this type. So let's just try to find a flight path here, and we'll start making our way to Silithus. I actually have my flyer, but I'm lazy. Okay, now we're going to make our way there. I think I'm actually heading to the hold. Now, if we start looking in the distance, again, this may be a spoiler alert for you folks. If we start looking in the distance, we should start seeing, it seems like my video is not really set up that well right now for actual distant range. We should be able to start seeing something pretty cool looking. Let's see here. I'm heading in the right direction. Okay, now the reason why I'm not seeing what I wanted to show you is because I didn't do enough in Legions to actually open this up. So what you have to do, it's called Silithus the Wound, right? What you have to do to actually open this up is you would have to complete it Antaurus, the Antaurus quest line. So we could see right here on my quest log, I still have Antaurus the Burning Throne. So I still have to do this raid and whatever comes after that, and then I should be able to get on with the Silithus quest line, which is one of the main quest lines for 7.3.5. Now, some of the main things that this Silithus the Wound opens up, number one for PvP, is the new battleground called the Seething Shore. The Seething Shore is a new 10 versus 10 battleground, and it operates like King of the Hill. So we're the first faction that can collect 10 pieces of Azerites, I think it's pronounced. Once either the Horde or the Alliance collects the first 10 pieces of that, that's basically how you win that battleground. So the Seething Shore will not open up until you complete the Silithus the Wound quest chain. So keep that in mind also. And also some of the other information that changed is a little bit about the classes. Some of the classes did change a little bit, but it's mainly only for low levels, like rank 1 and rank 2, which is like level 30s, level 40s, or whatnot. But for most 110s, everything basically remains the same. Also, they also gonna have some information about legendary items, the Mystic Keystone dungeons, holidays, and selfies, and also an achievement thing when it comes to Ulduar difficulty now. So again, I will provide those links. That's going to have more information if you want to learn about that stuff. So until then, folks, it feels great to be back shooting another Legions video. This was 7.3.5, just a rough review and exactly what's going on to get your feet wet and get back into that game. So until then, thanks for watching Wise Gamer, and you guys have a great day. Take care. Bye-bye.